Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a little bit different today. I'm basically just going to be going through and describing all the jobs that I've had because I saw Raw Beauty Christy did this video and I thought it was very interesting because some of them were doozies, I'm not gonna lie. But I do believe every single job has led me to where I am today, working as a stylist, which is what I've always wanted to do. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump right in. Okay. So the first job I had was McDonald's and I was 15 years old. I loved that job at first because I'm like, yo, you're paying for my new hand-me-down razor. Being a teenager, I was quite emotional and like really filled with attitude and whatnot. So when I was about 18, it was shortly after I graduated high school, I got into some beef with the bosses and other people there, and they broke it down like, Caitlin, you can walk away or we can fire you. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm walking away. Anyway, so after that, I didn't really know what to do for a job. So I applied at the gas station, Super America, and I absolutely freaking loved that job. I was like back with like my first love and like nothing compared. So he decided he was gonna join the Marines. So I'm like, okay, well, okay. I didn't know what to do with myself after he left for boot camp, and I didn't know how to really handle heartbreak back then as like gracefully as I do now. So I quit that job because I'm like, 2 weeks later, I had my tail between my legs and tears flowing out of my face, and I'm like, yo, I made a really bad decision quitting here. Can I have my job back? And she was like, Caitlin, I love you and all, but there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. You didn't give a 2-week notice. Sorry. So I'm like, okay. Boo-hoo, picked my pants up, kept on going. So the next job I had was not my favorite. It was Dairy Queen. And I remember back then I had like nothing going for me besides my like glorious Marine of a boyfriend. So I'm like, yo, felt so cool. Got hired at the DQ with no application or nothing. Hated that job. Going from McDonald's, which is like very structured, to Dairy Queen, where not structured, I don't know. Yeah, didn't like it. Wasn't a big fan of the boss. We kind of butted heads. I think he was trying to get rid of me. He eventually ended up giving me only like 5 hours in like a 3-week period, and I didn't care anyway because my now best friend and I had just become really close at that time. This was in 2012, and my relationship was falling apart. So like all me and her did was hacky sack 24/7. So like, joke's on you, manager from Dairy Queen. Not ripping on anybody who works at Dairy Queen now, but it was just not my jam. The guy and I broke up, was hacky sacking my life away, and then I'm like, I need to get a job. So I applied at a call center that my older brother had worked at called Straightforward. And if I'm being straightforward with you, I'm not cut out for a desk job. I'm just not. Some people are, I'm just not. And when it comes to me having to, first of all, deal with angry people from all over with their cable, I don't know. I'm not good at rebuttals. I'm not good at, people telling me no 4 times before I back off. Like, typically somebody tells me no once and I'm like, all right, like, I will never ask a question again. I will never question your greatness, okay? And then on top of that, they had me in outbound, and in outbound, I had to sell phone, internet, and cable, all of which I had none at the time. How hard is it to sell something you have absolutely no experience with? Not my jam. I lasted about 4 months. After that, me being 20-year-old little naive Caitlin, still trying to get over my little heartbreak, which completely destroyed my life. It's fine, I'm over it now. I've made something of myself. But I started getting involved with this new guy who was probably about 5 years older than me. I was 20 at the time. That relationship sucked the absolute life out of me, if I'm being frank. From like April of 2013 to October of 2013, I didn't really have a job. In that time, I took CNA classes because I'm like, Caitlin, like, you need a job. Do something to make yourself proud. Okay, I did it. Didn't really take it seriously because all of my energy was going into figuring this man out. Okay, so in October, I was still with said boyfriend, and I applied at Kohl's because I'm like, Caitlin, maybe if you get a job, he'll like love you and respect you more. He didn't, but so I worked at Kohl's for about a month. Just wasn't a fan, so I quit. Said boyfriend and I split up in December of 2013. I moved back home. I mended things with my parents. My dad basically gave it to me straight. He's like, Caitlin, you ain't got a pot to piss in. You're about to be 21 years old. Grow the hell up and do something with your life. And I'm going to take you around and apply for jobs until you get one because this is unacceptable. So I'm like, all right, Dad, like, let's get this going. So we went around and applied to places, and mind you, McDonald's, my first job, I had been trying to get back into for like years and years, but they never gave me a chance until now. They gave me a chance, and it was March of 2014. Yes. So I worked there. My dad said every paycheck I got, I was to give him half of it as like rent payment or whatever. So we did that. And probably 8 months into working there, I met this guy. And I'm like, yo, like, you're cute. I kind of like you. I was in my prime, okay? Like, I felt super cute. I was like the smallest I had ever been. I was like the cutest I had ever been. I had the longest hair I had ever had. I was feeling like a brand new bee after getting out of that nasty relationship. So I met this guy. And fast forward 8 months, we end up getting together. I, at that time, was still living with my parents, and I'm like, yo, if we're gonna be like dating and like seeing each other, like I'm 22 years old, I need to get my own apartment, because I'll be damned if I'm hanging out with my new boyfriend at 22 years old in my parents' room in the basement with the door open. So yeah, went to get my own apartment. So I got my first apartment, super exciting. My dad ended up giving me like $2,000 outright of the money that I had given him for the whole year. And he's like, yo, pay your security deposit, first month rent, go to the store, get whatever you need, like shower curtain, cleaning supplies, garbage, whatever, all that stuff that you need for a first apartment. Which I gotta say is like quite a bit more than I had ever anticipated. My best friend went shopping with me for that place, thank goodness, because I would have been a lost puppy dog because I didn't know anything. I always lived at my mom's and she always had everything. She's so responsible. So yeah, back to the story. We were together for about a year. He ended up moving in. About 4 months later, I get pregnant. We were like trying, so it was really exciting. It wasn't like too scary. It was like more exciting because I didn't even know if I could have a baby. That was a whole nother like mental battle with myself. Anyway, so still working at McDonald's, and I had worked my way up to a second assistant manager at this time, and I felt like a boss ass babe. I'm not gonna lie. The seniority and the superiority was real. Such a fun job looking back on it now. I literally poured my heart and soul into that job and didn't have a life outside of that job. I'll never do that again because I'll just never do that again. Anyway, so I was already kind of getting sick of this place because I was like pregnant and I'm like, holy crap, Ola, I'm gonna need a set schedule. I'll be damned if I'm gonna be working these crazy shifts when I have my baby. So you guessed it, quit. I was already kind of sick of it, but what really led me to it, one, I had a job lined up. We'll get into that. It was a disaster. But when I put in for my 5 days vacation, they had me scheduled to close every single night for probably like almost a week and a half. And if you've ever worked a closing shift anywhere, especially at like a fast food chain like McDonald's, for example, closing shifts always seem to get freaking shit on. Just too many expectations with not enough like resources. So I got freaking burnt out, and I'm pregnant on top of this. Went on my 5 days vacation, came back, gave my boyfriend a note. I'm like, yo, give this to the boss lady. So that's how I quit. I've never put a 2 weekend in any job. That's where I'm at. So yeah, the job that I got was Menards, because I'm like, yo, Menards is good. And like, set schedule, 7 to 3, Monday through Friday. Can't get better than this. Yeah, it could have gotten a lot better than that if I am being frank once again. I had like a little bit of a mental breakdown there. First to come of many in the years to come. Basically, I, at this job, 8 hours a day, was not allowed to listen to music, was not allowed to talk to people in my own little cubicle, scanning receipts for 8 hours, okay? So I went from this job of like super superiority, people answering under me like running the shit, to sitting in a cubicle by myself, pregnant, wondering where the hell I'm going with my life. And it was awful. And I lasted 2 days. Sorry about it. That's just where I was at. So yeah, after that, I got a job at Kohl's again, because trusty old Kohl's can always rely on them to hire for seasonal positions. So did that. Once again, I was pregnant, and I was like, yo, this isn't my jam. I can't just stand at a till and just wait for people to come up here to try to have to sell them a Kohl's card, because I'm just not good at selling things. I'm not good at selling things. Not good at it. Not good at it at all. So I was like, peace out, can't do this. Finally did something with my CNA license, and I got a job at Dove Healthcare. And I really liked that job. I felt such a sense of purpose, and I have such a naturally bubbly personality, and my grandma was a CNA, my aunt's a CNA. I just felt like I was carrying on the family freaking name and like being a boss ass bee at it. Like I said, felt very important, met a lot of great people there, but I ended up having my son. I started there in October of 2016. I ended up having my son in... Mom of the year. I ended up having my son in April of 2017, and I got back maternity leave, had a set schedule morning shift, which was freaking amazing. My son's dad worked at night, so it was kind of nice that we didn't have to worry about daycare and stuff, but we also never got to see each other, and I feel like that's where we kind of started to really lose each other, because we were like BFFs before everything. But it's one thing you can't prepare for, is like how much your life really does change after you have a kid. Anyway, while I was working at Dove and kind of starting to feel unhappy with my life, because I'm like, yo, like this is a lot to adjust to. I want to try to go to school, because if I'm going to be a mother, I want to be the happiest that I can be. And what that requires is me doing something that I am absolutely passionate about. So I went to beauty school. Beauty school was freaking rough, okay? It really was. And I could not have prepared myself for it. There was a lot of negativity, and there was a lot of girls trying to basically rip others down to get on top. I can't handle this. Like, it all became so much. And I was not seeing my son's dad on top of it. Felt like my family was kind of fading away. I ended up shaving my head at one point, like a good chunk of it, because I just didn't know how to freaking handle it. And yeah, like I loved the experience of beauty school overall. It was fun. Like I loved my instructors and stuff, but like the other girls there were just absolutely horrendous, with the exception of like 3. Anyway, I also didn't really have a hold on myself like during beauty school, and I think that was like a huge part. I didn't know how to keep myself grounded. I wasn't aware that I was so like absorbing of other people's energy and shit at the time, whereas like now I'm more aware of it. Do I still absorb other people's energy? Yeah, I really do. But also, I'm aware of it now, so it's just different. Like, I'm able to cut myself off, or like pull myself back and retreat within myself when I feel it happening. Okay, it's for a different day. So while I was in beauty school, I worked at a bar. Yeah, so I worked at a bar for 2 shifts, and I was like, this is not my jam. Bar scene has never really been my scene anyway, with the exception of maybe like 3 times since I've been 21. And my relationship was like falling apart, and he had some other things he was battling at the time. It was just a whole shit show of things. So I feel like I just felt so confused with where I was in my life, and just so freaking hurt and like depressed and not sure of absolutely anything, that I think if I were to try to do like a bar scene type job now, it'd be way different, because I am in a way better place. So yeah, that was about 2 days. It's about a week left in beauty school, and I'm like, yo, I need a job. Like, I need to get a stylist job set up. So I just was like kind of panicky, and I just went with the first job that kind of intrigued me when they came to my school to talk about all they offer and stuff like that. And that was Great Clips. And I could not be more thankful that I went with them. It all worked out for a freaking perfect reason beyond my reasoning. I don't know. It just worked out really freaking good. Took me a little bit to find my footing there. I was also in a very weird place though. Like, just broke up, a single mother, and I was living with my best friend, and it was just a whole slew of things that I was so confused on, trying to just find my footing in my own life with where I was at. So yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of find my place there, but I had one real big mental breakdown, and that really made me feel like at home there, because I was able to just be open and be myself with them. Because like I said, I cannot give more to a job than I'm able to offer ever again. I just can't. And me being a mom, like, I know I need to conserve my energy for more important things in my life. And they're very accommodating to that, such as this YouTube thing. My boss is freaking amazing. And I don't know how it'll be when we go back from like quarantine or whatever. So it's probably going to be freaking crazy at work. But right before quarantine, I got my schedule switched to only work 4 days a week. Everything just literally worked out so good. So I can try to focus on putting content out on YouTube, because I need an outlet of some sort, and I've always wanted to do YouTube. So they've been very accommodating for it. My coworkers are freaking fantastic. I could not ask for better freaking coworkers. We all get along so freaking good. It's absolutely insane. I've never felt more like part of a family in a job setting before. Like, we all just love each other. It's amazing. So yeah, I probably talked through this very fast, but those are all the jobs that I've had. Thank you for watching this. There you have it. There's me. There I am. Thank you for being here and watching this video. If you made it this far, you the real MV motherfucking bitch. I need to calm down. This is the second time filming this, because the first time I didn't like my hair. I straightened it, and like I never have it straight, and it just looked like it was just like this. So I'm like, scrunchie up. And I'm matching. That is so aesthetically pleasing. Bet your bottom dollar I got a selfie already. Thank you for being here. Go ahead and subscribe if you want. I'm still gonna be here making videos because I like it. That's where I'm at. Thank you for being here. Much appreciation. And I will see you guys next time. Catch you on the flip.